Everybody, welcome back to the channel, Marathon Capitalist, man. It's good to be back. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I mean, it was just certain things I had to do. I did a little series for y'all. And what was so good, I had actually one person reach out to me about that series and told me they got good value from it, and they was wondering why I had stopped. And to be honest, I had done what I kind of wanted to do as far as putting out the content that I intended to, and I just didn't really feel like I wanted to kind of continue. I wanted to do other things to help me grow in certain areas. But anyway, I'm glad that person got, you know, value out of it, and I'm pretty sure I reached somebody else. Sometimes you just don't know who you really reach or who you really touched, especially if nobody ever said anything. But um, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to hop back on here. Today is Wednesday, hump day. It's one of the days that I actually have off from the corporate jobs that I work. And I want to provide y'all with some more content. I believe I already talked about something similar to this, but I want to just reiterate it because it is still pivotal, pivotal, yeah, pivotal and important in my life today. And I think it's good to hear it once again, and me getting back on here. Um, yeah, I just want to, bring that up. So let's get into it. What I want to talk about today is one book that actually really changed my life, and it has stuck with me, and that's going to be the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if y'all can see. Hopefully the camera focuses in on that, but um, I've read this book multiple times, and I think the first time I read it, I probably was in high school. My dad gave it to me, but I wasn't a big reader, and I kind of just skimmed through it, and really just bullshitted around with it. But you know it got it in my mind to go back and really read it. And also I heard other people talking about it, other people mentioning how good the book was. And then also the guy Robert Kiyosaki, he has a YouTube channel. So it kind of, once I started reading or listening to the YouTube channel, it kind of made me go back and read the book over and over. And I've read it several times as well. But I want to just hit you with the biggest takeaway that I got out of the book. And Robert says it's an accounting book, which I agree with in a sense, but I can't really explain how, in a way, it's an accounting book. You have to go and read it yourself. But the biggest takeaway that I got out of is smart people, or not necessarily smart people, but rich people, they buy assets and not liabilities. And that's one thing that I had to learn for myself personally. And what this means is they don't go out and spend their money on bullshit like cars, watches, um, houses that they're gonna have to keep paying a mortgage on, that's not gonna be a rental property, and other things such as that. They buy assets such as stocks, real estate properties that can turn into assets, could be houses, commercial properties, and other things like that. But they use those assets to pay for the liabilities. And I think that a lot of us get caught up in going to work. Like I said, I had two corporate jobs, and a lot of people go to work and they'll spend their money that they get from their job on liabilities, which brings no money in for them. The only money that they got is coming from a 9 to 5 job. So once they get rid of that, they ain't got no more money coming in. But what Robert explains to you in this book is, once you buy assets, the assets will bring in the money. And then you could take that money and either buy more assets if you want, or you can buy those liabilities, things that are not going to bring money into your pocket. And I also did a YouTube video on assets versus liabilities. You can go and check that out. But yeah, that is one major thing that kind of stuck with me. And you know even though I am not just rich and balling out of control, I understand the difference. I'm rich in the mind because I understand the difference now of going to work and putting my money towards something that's going to bring me more money, and buying more assets, investing my money into, assets, and also investing in myself to help myself bring myself more money in the future. So um, I want to give y'all one, just something that I did when, before I understood the magnitude of what Robert was saying is when I went from being a graduate assistant for a football program in college to just becoming a normal worker, and my income went from $9,000 a year, to somewhere between 45 to $50,000 a year, which is a huge increase for me. And even though I could have did a lot of things with that money, it really didn't matter because I didn't understand the difference, or I didn't understand assets and liabilities and putting where to put my money. So when I got the job, I was still staying at home with Mom Dukes, which was cool, which was great. But the first thing I did was buy a car, and a car is one of the biggest liabilities that you're gonna have because for one, you got a car note. I bought a new car, I should say. You got a car note, plus you got insurance, and I'm spending over $500 a month in insurance. Now, mind you, I was still staying with Mom's, but of course, after I got the car, you already know what was up because I got a 2017 Dodge Charger in 2017. So you already know women came flocking just because of the car. And, I worked out. So, you know, and I'm a good looking guy. So you already know how that story goes. But anyway, I ended up moving out of Mom Deuce cribs, which made me now have to pay my own rent. So now I got a car payment of $500 plus I got, you know, rent to pay plus utilities. So now I'm not I'm bringing in money from my corporate job and not having any assets to, help me bring in more income. So now I had to trade my time, to go to work to bring in money to pay for these liabilities. Whereas when I could have even stayed at Mom Deuce crib. I mean, I could have moved out and, got something a little bit cheaper as far as car wise, something to get me from point A to point B. But, or I could have stayed at Mom Deuce crib, and saved up that bread even more and bought more assets to, put me in a different position, in which, I could have prospered a little bit more. But, I feel like it would have been good to have my own space and be able to do things that I wanted to do. And I don't knock anybody for wanting to get out and get their own space. But if you can stay with your people as long as you want, or as long as you can, then definitely do that. Stack your bread up, just so you can put yourself in a position that would definitely benefit you. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I kind of forgot where I was headed with that. But all in all, I went out and bought this liability that's costing me $500 on a monthly basis, and it's just kind of money down the drain. And on top of that, I gotta pay for oil changes, all the maintenance, routine maintenance that you have to do with cars. And then once they get to a certain extent, you're gonna need to replace bigger things on them, and you're gonna have to come out of pocket even more. Like having new car looks cool and shit, but if you're not really in a position to afford that, just to pay for it outright or even put down, I would say like 75 to 80% of it. So you only have to pay for a year or so, or 2 years on it. A year, I would say, for these cars, because like I said, they just liabilities. And then you gotta continually pay insurance on them. So um, yeah, you just gonna have to do, you have to figure out what's best for your situation and make the right decision so you can put yourself in a position to be able to, just come out on top when it's all said and done. But, I didn't put myself in a bad position, but I also didn't. I could have been in a better position because I mean, I always had the money to afford whatever I got myself into. I wasn't behind on car payments, I wasn't behind on rent or anything like that. But I could have been further up by putting my money, taking that $500 or at least $300 because the car payment that I recently had, it was only $200. It's way less than a $500 car payment. So that extra $300 I could take and put it towards assets that's going to help my money grow and help money come into me. So now, once I have more money coming in from them assets, I can take that and then go and buy the charger. You feel me? You get what I'm saying? So it's all about positioning yourself and, understanding what you're gonna get out of something, or what benefits does this have? Is it an asset which is gonna bring money into my pocket, or is it a liability? So make sure you understand the difference between those two. Also, you know, learn how to put yourself in a position where you can grow and prosper from anything you do when you bringing in money. And Rich Dad Poor Dad is a book that I definitely recommend that you should read. Also, just learn how to, learn how to thrive in this economy because it's nothing but opportunity to do that. And it's always assets that are out there. You just got to find the right ones for you, something that you can understand, and something that you are willing to put your money in to watch it grow. And all this shit really take time. It don't happen really overnight. It's going to be years and years before most people see the the results that they looking for, really, because the money doesn't come just like that, but it will come, trust me. So that's what I wanted to say, man. I wanted to hop on here, make it quick and short. I just want to come back to y'all and bring value. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. Learning how to bring value, such as Robert did with his book. And he has many other books, but Rich Dad Poor Dad is the one I wanted to hit on today. And it was good talking to y'all.